Another story that's separated from the one about about Camp Khalil by something like 11 years, I would say. And this was no less. This was in '55 or '6. I was a shepherd at the time, and I was going out to pasture from day to day with the sheep. From the time I remember myself, I used to gather up stray dogs and bring them home, and my mom would always have to be getting rid of the puppies that were born because people would throw out the female dogs that got pregnant, and I would bring them home, and we would spread the puppies around in the neighborhood. And Clarence loved cats. First thing I ever saw when I was tiny was him bringing cats home. So I used to go walking or going to school or wherever I happened to be, and there would always be dogs sort of running around, and I would bring them home. And ever since then I've loved animals. So when I got to the kibbutz, and I had my first child, Norit, I would take her whenever this circus, the Madrano circus from Italy, came to Tel Aviv. We would go there. We would sleep over the night before in the aunt's house, so that early in the morning we could get out there and get into the circus area, and I could walk around with her and let her feel the smells. We would look in on the animals through their cages to see, try and see if they were well treated or not. And then when the show would go on, we would come in, we'd sit and we'd watch. And around this time, the Madrano circus went back to Italy. They left two small baby bear cubs with the Tel Aviv Zoo. Well, I heard about this and it was in the back of my mind, and I was still going on pasture every day. I'd go on pasture, I would have first of all I had to carry a pistol with me, which is like another story, but I also had a coil of rope in case I'd have to, something would happen to one of the sheep and I'd have to tie her and carry her or something. At any rate, I was walking along there, and all of a sudden, I could see a flash of something yellow out passing me, and I looked, and there was a hole in the ground. Now, these holes existed at the time all over the area because the earth in the Negev packs very tightly, and the farmers used to store their wheat or barley, mostly barley would grow in the Negev. They would store the barley seeds down there. And after the War of Independence, the first thing that the new settlers at Urim did was to go down to find these holes and take out the barley and sell it. And so they were able to have some money before crops started coming in. At any rate, in the bottom of this pit, I looked down, and what I realized was that there was a wildcat that ran past me, and I looked down and I saw tiny little moving things. I couldn't really know what, but I knew it was little pups that the wildcat left behind. So I tied the rope to a boulder that I found nearby, or maybe it was a branch, something that was solid enough, and I went down into the pit, and sure enough, there were 4 little wildcats. And the only difference, I think, between baby wildcats and baby kittens is that the wildcats are always going like that and spitting. So I didn't care much. I put them in my knapsack, and I climbed out. Be damned if I remember how, but I climbed out. The fact is, I'm out, And I brought them home. Home in the kibbutz, we were living in a one-room apartment with a small bathroom to the side, and a little hallway. I went into the bathroom. I put out the little kittens on the ground. They were starving, of course. I got a eyedropper, and I started feeding them milk. I had to feed them, beginning 5-6 times a day, and they were growing. But the trouble is that they were spitting all over the floor. And Ophira, my wife at the time, Nuri's mom, all my kids, would come in and she'd be afraid to go and shower because you had to walk around them, and the floor was slippery. After a couple of weeks, she said, it's either me or them. I had no choice. I took the small kittens, put them in a box, and I went to the Tel Aviv Zoo. I walked in, they wanted me to pay entrance. I said, no, I don't pay entrance, I'm bringing you a gift. It took around 20 minutes to figure that out. They let me in to see the person who's in charge there. His name is Johnny. I remember him till today. He had come from Berlin. In the Berlin Zoo, he was responsible for the cat families, tigers, lions, and so forth. In the zoo, he was more or less the responsible person there on a day-to-day basis. He lived there with his wife in a little bungalow in the back. They took me to him. I came, I showed him with these little wildcats. He got very excited, and he said, we're going to send them to Tokyo. We've been getting requests, and then we'll be able to get all kinds of things back. And this is the way the zoos work. Any time you have an animal that you know another one needs, you can send it and you can get things in return. And we have a barter system worldwide. So I was happy to hear that. I said, okay, what do I get out of all this? And he said, well, what would you like? I said, well, I read in the paper that the Medrano circus left a couple of little bears. He said, you don't want to go take a little bear cubs. They're very, very dangerous. I said, dangerous? They don't look dangerous. He said, that's their problem. They don't look dangerous, they look really friendly, and they are friendly most of the time. But when it comes to something like mating season or something else that's bothering them, without any warning, they can just grab you, put you in a bear hug, and you're gone. On the other hand, I have 2 lion cubs, and you can have them, and they're much less dangerous. I said, lions are less dangerous than bears? He said, yes, because when a lion is about to attack you, her eyeballs, they expand, and you can look, you can see that they're getting ready to leap, and then you just get out of the way. So you always know where you stand, whereas with bears, you never know where you stand. Well, I scratched my head a little bit because getting food was a problem. I said, let me think about it. I went back home. First I went to Beersheba. I went to the local butcher store. I made an arrangement with him that every week I could get large quantities of bones and scraps that he'd throw away. We had a deal going because if a lamb would die or a sheep would die or would get sick, he would be able to get the meat from me. So it worked very well. I had an arrangement. I went to another friend who could build a cage, and I was completely organized, ready to get the first 2 lion cubs in our zoo. I went to Tel Aviv. Already I had a taxi was waiting outside. I had a big box, and I said, okay, let's see the cubs. And he said, here, come. And it was sunshine. This is August in Israel. The sun is right on you. And the cage where the cubs were was covered up with canvas to keep them in the shade and to keep visitors away. And he said, I'm going around the back. you can just open up the canvas and take a look in. I said, okay. I go, I pull apart the canvas, pop my head in between the bars, and I can't see anything yet because my eyes are getting used to the dark. And all of a sudden I hear a roar. The door behind me opens. Johnny walked in, and the mother, I don't know what you call it, the mother lioness was in midair already, coming at me. And Johnny goes, "Tss," like that, and she just dropped. So I'm still shaking when I tell the story. And he came out and he said, "Didn't you see her eyeballs going wide? The pupils?" So I said, "No, I couldn't see a thing. It was dark. I just opened up the..." And then I said, "Look, maybe I'd better settle for another animal." So he gave me some what they call Syrian rabbits and a raccoon, and that way we began the zoo in Kibbutz Urim. I think at this point I better stop, but in the blog there is a picture of Johnny with the mother and father of the two cubs that I was supposed to get in the zoo, so that is attached. Johnny passed away some years back, in the 70s or something like that. He was a very kind man. His wife was very quiet and just served me coffee every time I got there. That's all for now.